MegaHerzzz. You're listening to MegaHerzzz on 4ZZZ.
You are tuned in to MegaHerzzz here on 4ZZZ 102.1 FM. My name is August and my pronouns are they, them.
My name's Sisi, my pronouns are she, her.
And my name's Klaire, my pronouns are she, her.
Awesome. Before we get started, we would just like to acknowledge that MegaHerzzz is broadcast on the land of the Yagara and Turrbal people, and we would like to pay our respects to elders past and present. And yeah, this always was and always will be Aboriginal land. We have quite a stacked show for you today. We're going to be chatting about quite a few rallies that are coming up because there's been quite a lot happening, and also quite a few gigs going on from local femme-fronted musicians. And as many of you would know if you are a regular listener to 102.1 FM, we are currently in April Atonement, which is our earlier on in the year subscriber drive. We've got lots of potential prizes up for grabs when you subscribe during April Atonement, and yeah, it's just a really important period of time for 4ZZZ because as many of you would know, we run mainly off of subscriptions, and it costs about $90 to run an hour of radio, so the length of our show today. And yeah, just every dollar really does count in, and it's just an incredibly important and worthwhile opportunity to support what we're doing here and support your community and support giving voices to people who would otherwise not have it. You know, I mean, here at MegaHerzzz, we are, I believe, the longest running feminist radio show in the country. And we are. Yeah, we are. Hell yeah. And we wouldn't be able to do that if 4ZZZ didn't exist and wasn't able to get the funding that it is.
Exactly, and we know that times are tough for a lot of people, and that just strengthens the value of community and, you know, makes life worth living. But that is also why we have a concession. So if you are short on money and you can't give a big donation to the station or get the more expensive subscriptions, there's a $40 subscription. And do you want to go through what they cost?
I mean, they start as low as $25 if you are under 18, or if you want to subscribe your pet. And I know, I believe they give you a pet tag as well when you subscribe, which I think is very fun. And then there's also the full subscriptions are $80, a concession of $40. Passionate subscribing is $140, and super sub is $500. And super sub, you get your favorite announcer, which you should totally pick us if you do that. You should totally pick us to write your name in gold down in reception. And I think that's beautiful. And as a part of April Atonement, like I mentioned, there are quite a few really insane subscriber prizes. I know we've got a really cool looking record console there. You guys want to chat about them?
I think, it says it's from Stork Furniture. They have like a local furniture designer and maker based here in Brisbane, and then they do a lot of like mid-century inspired pieces. So they're offering a record console to a 4ZZZ subscriber who gets to win it, and it has like an inbuilt crate, so you can have like all your vinyls there. It's like handmade with wood. Like, it seems super cool.
And there's also a rocking horse pack. So you could, if you don't win one, then you could win the other. You get
there's heaps of prizes. There's even ones for kids.
Little
like
baby dogs
under 18s. If you're like a band or you do music, you could win a recording session. That's pretty cool.
But don't do that one, guys, because there's some musos in MegaHerzzz who don't want you winning that.
Shh, don't. No, do, please do. Please do.
Yeah, heaps of prizes. You can get tattoos. You can win a tattoo.
Yes, you might have heard that little spot before, but Thrill House Tattoo are
don't go for that one either.
It's all ours. But yeah, it's just a really great time to support 4ZZZ. if you have the means to do so. We love bringing you the radio that we do. Like, we all have a real love and a real passion for what we do here, and it would mean a lot if you could.
Absolutely. And I feel like even if you don't have like any funds, you can also, like, if you really like 4ZZZ and community radio, you can get involved, like volunteer.
100%, yeah. Absolutely. We always welcome people with open arms here.
And also, you don't need to be someone who likes to talk on the radio. We have so many things that need to be done around this station. There is a music department where you can come and sift through submissions and put them into our wonderful system here at 4ZZZ. And our reception area always needs people. So there's different ways to support.
You could be like working at like events, like helping to do merch and heaps of cool stuff.
And if you are a regular listener of MegaHerzzz, I am sure you would know that every week we take time to report on femicides that are happening throughout so-called Australia. Sisi, do you want to give us the updates with that?
Yeah, before I do, I would like to put a warning on this next segment. So if you need to tune out, please do so for the next 5 minutes, because we also have, after we touch on the Femicide Watch, we have mentions of police brutality against an Indigenous woman. So please, if this is triggering for you, take a moment, but please do tune back in because we have happy stuff going on later on. But we've made a commitment here on this show to report on femicide, as August said, and we use Sherele Moody as our primary source. She does incredible work and thoughtfully has been reporting on femicide for many years now and is one of the only voices doing so. Unfortunately, she did have a femicide to report this week. A woman, Christine Marshall Hunter, had her life taken. She was 27 years old. We also try not to focus solely on the worst day of her life. It's not about the man who killed her. It's about the woman who was lost. Christine had a very hard past, but no matter what she went through, she stayed strong and continued to care for others, her younger sister Jasmine wrote. She was funny, loud, protective, and has a way of making people feel safe and loved when they were around her. She came from a big, loving family of 8 siblings, and losing her has left a space in our lives that can never be filled. Christine Marshall Hunter matters. Christine Marshall Hunter should still be alive. We have this weekend, there is action happening. It's the 18th and 19th of April is the No More National Rally Against Violence, organised by What Were You Wearing? So that is in Meanjin, Brisbane. The Meanjin Brisbane rally is on the 18th of April, this Saturday, 10 a.m. at Queen's Garden, Brisbane CBD. They're all around the country, so to our listeners in Yungambe, Gold Coast, that's in Albert Park, 10 a.m. on the 18th of April, and anyone who might be listening from Gubby Gubby Land in the Sunshine Coast, there is on the 19th of April a No More National Rally Against Violence at Foundation Square at 10 a.m. But yeah, to our Brisbane listeners, 10 a.m. Queen's Gardens, Brisbane CBD, and that's a really big day for protests, but we'll go more into what's happening later. I'm going to pass over to you now.
I just wanted to talk a bit on a recent event that happened. So in WA, there was like an incident of where an Indigenous woman was met with excessive force from the police, and there was this the video was trending online and stuff, but then the main thing was that nobody took it seriously. Nobody even cared about this until it was revealed that the woman was the star from the movie Rabbit Proof Fence. So it was Evelyn Sampi, and she was like really violently forced, like on the ground, like pushed, and the whole altercation, pretty much what the news is reporting is that it was one of her relatives was having a bit of like some aggressive behavior, so like someone called the cops, and then like 5 cops car came, which was like way too much for like the situation. It was like completely uncalled for. And then there was, in the video you could see there was like 3 cops on top of this man, like restraining him on the ground, like on top of him physically. And then the other police officers who are there just start like pushing her, and like you can't really hear what they're saying in the video, but it's absolutely excessive. And the fact that like nobody, like she was charged on like for like this being pushed to the ground because she was like interfering with the police or something, which is like ridiculous. And then I think now they're doing an internal investigation because it came out that she's like famous and she was like a child star in this movie, and now they're like, oh well, we're gonna take this seriously. And then the WA police is like, oh we'll do an internal investigation, except then nothing has been said after that. They just like, it's pretty much just like to brush it over.
Shame. That's
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But like nobody like paid attention. It was on the news, and then nobody paid attention until this, and now it's like this whole thing in the media that people are talking about. But then if you think about it, if this was any other woman, this would not have been like cared about by the media. People wouldn't have been paying attention. She would have been charged on like police interference, and there would have been this whole ordeal. Yeah.
Like, how many times has this gone unreported? This is a story that we've like has happened time and time again, but has been deemed not newsworthy because it's an Indigenous woman.
And I think that so many of us have seen instances of excessive force being used on Indigenous people specifically. Like the fact that 5 cars were sent out, the fact that there were 3 men on her and she was charged with what was she charged with?
For like interfering with like police.
There is no way those men weren't holding her down violently. Like that is horrific. And it's so upsetting, and it is our duty as non-Indigenous people in this country to call it out when we see it. And we have the privilege, well, us white people, we have the privilege of statistically and regularly receiving less force than police. And obviously if you're in a marginalized community, don't put yourself in danger. But if you have the privilege, and if you see excessive force being used on Indigenous people or queer people, and you have privilege of being safe, please do so. Please educate yourself on what to do in that scenario, you know, because it happens way too often, and it's horrific.
Especially I feel like now in like Brisbane, with like everything that's going on with, you know, like the hate speech laws, and like it's very much like the police are a big presence here in Queensland. Like especially like compared to like some other states, like Queensland's got like a very much like a big police presence.
100%. And I mean, this is, I don't know, you kind of can't sense that without thinking back to like Joe Bjelke-Peterson and like this whole, like this is a story that we've seen before, and it's just really important to be a part of that change if you are able to, and you can like stop this cycle from being repeated, you know. I will say I have some hotlines here. They're mostly related to the discussion we had earlier on femicide.
I will quickly jump in and go before you do those hotlines, specifically for Indigenous people who may be listening. 13 139276.
Absolutely. No, that is very important. There's also 1-800-RESPECT, which is 1-800-737-732. DV Connect Women's Line, which is 1-800-811-811. DV Connect Men's Line, which is 1-800-600-636. And Men's Line Australia, which is 1300-789978. And we're getting into a bit more of a fun segment here on the show today. We wanted to have a little bit of chat about some really cool upcoming gigs that are going on, because we always want to highlight femmes and femme-fronted bands in the Meganjin music scene, and just Femme's doing awesome stuff in our local community. We wanted to give a big shout out to Overgrown Fest, who, if you are not aware, there's going to be a backyard festival this Saturday, the 18th, in East Brisbane. Really great lineup. There's Plainer, there's Mum's Cardigan, there's Ivory, and plenty of other female-fronted and LGBTQ gigs. Margaret might be on that, but I'm not allowed to advertise that.
And shout out to Ella, Michaela, and Joel. That's a mainly femme planned festival too, which is so awesome.
Yes,
good
absolutely.
on them.
And Ella texted in before to say hey Ella, thank you Ella. But yeah, very excited for that one. Definitely head on down if you can. We've been chatting about it, and we've been wanting to potentially start up a little segment where we talk about a lot of femme-fronted gigs that are happening this week or in the coming weeks. So if you are out there and you have a femme-fronted gig that you are playing, or maybe you're just like really excited about and you just want us to mention that's happening in the upcoming week, please text in 0420 626 733, or even message the MegaHerzzz Instagram account. We would love to hear from you. And yeah, hopefully that's something that we can get to organising. There's a couple other ones that we had on our radar. We've got a gig from Amelie Farron at Junk Bar on the same night as on the same night as Overgrown. Sorry, so maybe you can do a little gig hopping adventure.
Catch the ferry.
Yeah, that'd be kind of beautiful. Actually, you can have like a whole itinerary. But yeah, Amelie Farron is being opened. Oh no! The openness for Amelie Farron. Oh God, I'm so sorry. That's
cancelled.
Oh my goodness. The openers are Charlotte Mead and Still Fall From Life.
They would line up.
Is what I was trying to say. But as I've discussed before, words are really hard. Yeah. Words are hard, and sometimes they sound, you say them wrong.
Also, we have 4ZZZ Youth Week. That's happening over at Season 3, and that is a free gig. Woo! That's
we love free.
April 18th, which is the Sunday, I believe. Sorry if I get that wrong, but that's female headlined Sienna 10, Hicktown Barnaby, Myra, and Daylight Vandal. The day before, April 17th, there's Spira, who is opened. Oh my God, I did it!
Oh no!
With openers, Boys at the Back and Moi. Over at the Bright Side, Telenova is playing on the 18th. Also, sorry guys. So Saturday is the 18th. Yes. Telenova is playing on Saturday the 18th. At the Cave-In. Yeah. If you caught that interview earlier on Transmissions, Navi Karan is on Friday the 17th, and that's the Mystique tour. That's all I have to go.
Yeah, I've got some like experimental stuff. You're more into that scene.
Cool.
Cave-In, speaking of Cave-In, they do experimental Tuesdays every week, and they now have an Instagram page. So I think this week they have a lineup. It's curated by Yvette, who's like one of the main people in the experimental scene here in Brisbane, but they've got a lot of femme-fronted acts. They've got... Okay, I'm going to try and pronounce Microcephaly band. They've got Kitten Dreams Summer Holiday and Primitive Motion on that lineup. There's also an experimental, like really cool, like artsy thing happening at IMA on Thursday. And that has... there's a new trio from Yeronga called Green, Terry, Manning, and that's Tim Green, Amanda Terry, and Ross Manning together. They're doing really cool improvised sounds, like improvised music and sound sculptures, a lot of percussion and violin. There's Skylar Sansom's on that lineup as well, so doing a lot of cool like percussion-y, sculptural things, a lot of cool experimental things. And then I'm pretty sure there's also a new film club starting at Cyberbunker, which is one of those like experimental spaces here in Brisbane. But now it's called Not So Secret Cinema Club, and they're doing a lot of cool like film screenings of some like artsy movies and like all sorts of stuff. So that's starting up this Thursday, first one. And if we're talking about international artists, I know Weather Day is coming because I'm going to that, and that's tomorrow.
Ooh, so exciting.
Yeah, Weather Day is gender diverse, and the opener is an Australian musician called Katie Day, who's a trans woman.
She's incredible. Yeah. I saw her opening for Ethel Kane quite a while ago now.
So that's happening tomorrow. It's going to be really cool. I think it's at Crowbar.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. 2 things happening on a Tuesday in Brisbane.
Club going up on a Tuesday. Whoa. This is so awesome. Beautiful.
So exciting. And IMA is doing such awesome stuff at the
IMA
moment.
is starting to do like a lot of like really cool events. There's so much going on.
I got a temporary tattoo the other week and watched the craziest film I've ever watched in my life.
And then I feel like as soon as you get it, you realize there's such like a cool like local art scene. That's like there's like artists doing like all of these like really like insane like things happening, and like massive sculptures and like installations.
Also, if you're an artist, we are happy to broaden this weekly guide.
Oh, yes. We'd like it to be just anything vaguely like, creative and interesting if you're femme-fronted. We would love to hear from you.
We are at the very end of our show. Just before we go, we'd like to say that there's a lot going on this week. We talked about the march against femicide before, which is at 10 a.m. in the city. On that same day, stay in the city, have lunch, and then go to Justice for Palestine McGangen's march at 1 p.m. at Emma Miller Place. It's an emergency action for Palestine, defend freedom of expression and challenge the new laws. I tried to speak really quickly, but it's just messing me up. And then the next day on Sunday, 19th of April, 1 p.m. at King George Square, rally and march on Queensland Parliament for against for a free Palestine.
Hell yeah.
And then Community Union Defence League is doing a community call out asking for donations of tents and blankets to be donated to Musgrave Park. All the details are on their Instagram, CUDL Queensland, and they're also asking for food donations to help with their free food program and any supplies really. So yeah, check that out if you're interested in helping.
Hell yeah. If you have the means, please attend those or help out with them. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. We will be back here same time, same place next week. Bye. Thanks for tuning in.
Isn't that what feminism is about?